It's your boy MEGA down to the Z Lil Magazine. You tuned into Anything Musical every Wednesday. So you can follow them on Twitter or Facebook at CITEZW. CITEZW. Don't forget that. It's the hottest show in town. Respect.
Welcome to Asake Online. This is Center for Innovation and Technology. My name is Brighton and the Beefactor, the man behind the gems. Today on the show, I'm joined by Gilmore T. He's a content producer, fashion facilitator, radio host, TV host. My guy,
PR consultant, hustler, citizen.
Everything. Global citizen.
Yeah. Okay, global citizen before citizen. No, I'm a royal, born and bred and global citizen.
Gilmore, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Right, Gilmore, where do you get time to balance all these things?
I think one thing for sure is I've always made sure that everything that I like doing and everything I enjoy doing, I'll make time for it. And I just said, I'll steal a quote from Ubonang Mateba. She said, as an entrepreneur, time is the most valuable thing that you have. Yeah. So never waste your time on things that don't benefit you directly. So I've learned that anything that I'm good at, I need to be able to make time for it. And anything that I don't want to be a part of, I don't make time for it.
Right. So Gilmore, take us to your journey back then, growing up. Did you ever think of doing those things? What was your passion growing up? What was your dream growing up? Let's go back then.
I think I remember in primary school, I wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be a pilot so badly, but then I was very playful in school. And into the math sciences and all those things was something that I was never good at. But then I think funny enough, I worked from the National Gallery now, but I remember when I was in grade 6, I was selected in the whole entire school, the primary school, as the best art piece. And then my piece was exhibited here at the National Gallery where I'm working from. And I think that was my introduction into art because I was in grade 6 and I was 11 years old, right? Then, funny enough, years later, I'm realizing all these things were manifesting into what I'm doing now, working in the creative space with fashion people, with musicians, with people, with actresses, and people in the arts sector in general. But the other thing, I think instead of being a pilot, I realized I'm traveling a lot. So maybe God in some way was saying, you know what, you don't need to be the one. What do you do when you're piloting? Do you drive people in air?
You fly them.
You fly the people. You don't need to be the one flying the people, but you need to be the one that they're flying. So in a way, my dream of being a pilot ended up landing me in flights a lot. But I still, my calling of being in the arts industry, it was discovered when I was 11 years old.
So let's talk about your love for fashion, love for art. When did this start, love for fashion and love for art?
I think art was already in primary school when I was 11 years old, but then fashion, I was introduced to a lot of fashion designers when I used to work for Alliance Française. So obviously, Alliance Française is a French institution and it's run by the French embassy. And if you're a fashion designer, one thing that you want to do is showcase it at Paris Fashion Week. So a lot of people used to come through and they'll be like, they thought I was a go-to person, which I am now. But then they used to come to me and say, oh, he's the guy who can take us to Paris. He's the guy who can take us to France, because I was working at Alliance Française. And many designers would bring me clothes. So they'll give me clothes because they wanted to bribe me to take them to Paris. And I never knew how to take them to Paris. So then I realized I started falling in love. I questioned myself, like, why would people keep coming to me if I don't have anything to do with that space? So then I fell in love with the fashion space because of the people that kept coming to me. And I realized maybe I have a calling in that space. And up to now, I still realize, oh, okay, I'm working in this thing. So I always say to people, it's not a coincidence. It's all the things that happen to you, they are meant to happen to you, and they're supposed to communicate something to you.
Gilmore, you've worked with a number of brands in Bulawayo and outside Bulawayo. Talk of Edgar's, talk of other brands that you've worked with, the British embassies. How do you make these things happen?
Relationships, I think, for me have worked so much. So obviously, along the years when I was in high school, I was once a Rotary Youth Ambassador. And then from there, I met the lady who's now the MD for Edgar's. By then, she was my counselor. And then I think also Upapa in general. Because in high school, I was very fast forward. Even up to after high school, I was still like the very fast forward kid. So I think Upapa has helped me a lot, because most of the people that I'm working with now is people that I met in some spaces. I reached out to them and then I introduced myself to them. But by that time, Ben has Guti, how they're going to come and help me later on. So I'm looking at Leslie Williams, the lady at Edgar Stores. I met her like in 2006 when I was actually O level 2006. And maybe 10 years plus later, I'm working with her. So I think one thing I would say is, when you see someone and you admire whatever that they're good at, there's nothing wrong with you going to them and introducing yourself. Hi, my name is Gilmore. And what's your name? I admire what you're doing. You never know what that does for you in the few years to come. That's what happened with me, basically.
Yeah, so you're one of those young people who have changed the arts sector in terms of Bulawayo. Let's talk of Tata Wena. You produced Tata Wena.
I did produce and host, co-produced rather than hosted. I think with Tata Wena, the approach was, I was tired of sort of like listening to, other people's stories and other people talking about our own stories as Africans. And then Tata Wena was meant for us to just basically own who we are as a people and tell our own stories through the media of television. And you find that in many cases when you watch stuff about Africa, you're like, but that's not who we are. Someone has an accent, I am from Zimbabwe, and you're like, this Hollywood movie is not even portraying who we are. So you know how when someone is also doing well, we say, hey, Tata Wena, we're sure. So the show was a result of that. We say, these people are doing so much in their industries, and they're trying by all means to own the narrative of being Zimbabwean, being from Bulawayo, being from Cholocho, being from Harare. So Tata Wena, we're celebrating them, but we're also saying Tata Wena because they're owning who they are. That's how Tata Wena came about.
So can I say Tata Wena to you too, because we
thanks.
we have taken the flag of Bulawayo to greater heights, and we continue to take the flag of Bulawayo to greater heights.
Thank you.
Let's speak of now, Bulawayo boy taking the Bulawayo voice to Cliff Central now.
Yeah.
Currently Cliff is the biggest thing in South Africa, it's the biggest name in South Africa, but now as a Bulawayo boy, you're now featuring on Cliff Central.
Yeah.
How did you feel, and how did you get into Cliff Central?
So I'll tell you how I got to Cliff Central. It's such a weird story. So I was once invited to an interview on Cliff Central, and then someone was interviewing me. So like you are interviewing me now, the next thing I realized, I want to work with Sarge because I liked how he did it. I liked how the team was like. And then maybe I come to site and say, okay, I want to work with you because I want to do this, and that. So that's what happened at Cliff Central. I went there once, twice, I think thrice for an interview. And then the fourth time when I went, I was coming from the Mandela Washington Fellowship. And then I was being interviewed by Gareth himself. So when I was there, I was like, you know what? After the interview, I said to him, I've been here, this is the fourth time I've been here. And I like the way you guys work. I like the way you are very uncensored. You allow people to speak their minds. You allow people to have their own voices. I want to be on this station. And then he asked me, why would you want to be on Cliff Central? And I said, there's a million Zimbabweans that are staying in South Africa. But who informs them on what's happening in Zimbabwe? We can't run away from the fact that these Zimbabweans contribute so much to South Africa, but they need to know what's happening back home. And it becomes, you guys might actually cater for that audience of Zimbabweans. I want to be the guy to bridge the gap between Zimbabwe and the Zimbabweans living in South Africa and in other parts around South Africa. Hence, I want to work here. After all, I'm also on prime time in Zimbabwe, on Tata Wena. So, I'm also bringing in something. You need to pump yourself sometimes. And then the guy was like, okay, we'll think about it. 1 month later, they got back to me and they said, okay, we thought of what you said. And I think we have actually a possibility of building the company and the radio station to other markets like the Zimbabwean market in South Africa. So we'll bring you on board. And then that's what happened. And then 1.5 years later, I was on Cliff Central and doing the most.
Wow.
And that's how it came about. It's weird, but it's good.
So now, a few weeks earlier, back then we brought Uperita to Bulawayo, and Paperbag Africa is doing PR for this wonderful celebrity, well known and well loved artist from Bulawayo as well. We have Mboma Hawks, we have ASF. You manage this artist.
Yes.
Tell us about the founding of Paperbag Africa. And who are you working with Paperbag Africa?
All right. So first of all, Berita is from Bulawayo, so we didn't bring her. She brought herself back home because she was like, Gilmore, one day come in. So Paperbag Africa, I think in 2014 when I was still working at Alliance Française, I registered a company, still working there. And I realized every time I was at Alliance Française, I would interact a lot with artists. And most of the artists would come through and they're so talented. But these artists are so talented. They're talented dancers, fashion designers, musicians. But they're failing to package themselves. They're failing to just even put a press release, even just put a document, profile, we buy. And I had a company called Huna, which we dissolved in 2018, somewhere there. And then Paperbag Africa came to life. So I realized along the years that things were evolving. I was working with the MTV Sugar people. I was doing the EU Film Festival, etc. But in all the things that I was doing, there was always like three things that kept coming: creating content, managing that content, and doing PR for that content. So then I thought, you know what, I want to I want a brand that I can easily connect with, and a brand that's going to grow. I didn't want something that will limit me to Bulawayo or Zimbabwe. So, and then it's weird, I was just thinking about it, and I thought to myself, you know, must say shopping a paper bag or a plastic bag, but what you put in that plastic bag is of your choice. So then I thought to myself, I want to be able to operate within the African continent. I want to be the go-to person when it comes to African products or content. So why can't we name our company Paperbag Africa? Our Paperbag Africa has African talent in it, it has African projects in it, and we're operating within Africa. Hence it's called Paperbag Africa. That's how it came about. Yeah. And so we basically create the content. So it was about and I was like, oh, I want to come to Bra. So we helped create the activities and how everything went. MJ sings. That was a creation of content. And then we managed that project and we did publicity for that project. So all the three aspects of Paperbag Africa were seen on that director concept, amongst many other things that we do. Yeah.
So earlier on, speaking about artists and in terms of brand visibility and so now they manage their brand. We have seen in Bulawayo, most of the artists, they don't that much promote their brands and they neglect their brands. Speaking of the Bulawayo Arts Awards, we've saw many corporates coming on board to support the Bulawayo Arts Awards, but however, artists didn't come to the party in terms of exposing themselves to the brands and networking with the brands. How big is networking in terms of building a brand as an artist?
I mean, first of all, as artists also, when we're going to different spaces, especially, okay, I'll give an example of the Bulawayo Arts Awards. This was an opportunity for artists to sell who they are and also to network with the people that make decisions, because most of the corporates were invited to be at the Bulawayo Arts Awards. But then you were finding artists rolling on the floor, drunk, pouring drinks on other people. And to myself, I'm saying, we always complain saying, oh, there's no opportunities for artists. But then, have we ever asked ourselves, are we ready as artists to work with these people? Are these people even ready to work with us? Because I want to tag you on stage and you're sweating or you're carrying a glass of wine. I, as a couple, would never want to work with you. So I think we need to take time to understand. I'll give examples of Sandra Ndebele. She has taken time to understand. Possibly she went through, some mistakes as an artist. But right now, every time she shows up, she shows up. Miss Red came to the awards, she showed up. The idea is like, as an artist, we need to, let's engage with people that we know are good at what they're doing. You might not like me as Gilmore, you might not like Brighton, you might not like the other person. But if you know that they're good at what they're doing, approach them, consult them, and let them help you build your brand. And especially as a branding, even when you're going to an awarding ceremony, just dress up for once. I should normally say church and church and you dress up. So why can't you do the same for awarding ceremony? So let's just respect the different platforms the same way we want people to respect us. We need to respect those platforms.
Right, let's now talk about the Forbes.
Forbes, all right. No more pressure of afterwards.
Let's talk about Forbes now. Forbes honors young people who are doing great work across Africa. So Forbes has honored you as the part of the 30. Tell us about that.
Man, Forbes is huge because Forbes Africa. Forbes as a whole international entity celebrates people that are making a lot of money, millionaires, billionaires.
So you're making money?
I'm making reasonable money in my space, but I have the potential to make more money.
There you have it. He's making money.
No, I'm making money from my practice. I always say to artists, whatever that you are good at, make sure you perfect your skill, you hone your skill, and you will get paid eventually if you perfect your skill. But if you're going to show up and you're half-baked, you haven't honed your skill, so I'm not going to pay for that. But I know whatever that I'm doing, I've honed my skill. Like, I'm sure no one can actually argue with me, which is not good at what he does. I'm good at what I do. Not that I'm blowing my own trumpet, but I think at some point in life, you need to acknowledge yourself. You yourself need to acknowledge yourself before everyone else acknowledges what you do. So with Forbes, they celebrate people that are making money. Australia must see Eugene Peters was also on Forbes 30 under 30 some time back. But what they do is like they identify young CEOs across the African continent in the business space, in the tech space, in the sports space, in the creative space. So I'm in the creative space, so there's 30 of us in that space. So they identify people that have some sort of structure and look like they're going in the right direction. And they simply just need that boost to say, you know what, Singapore Forbes 30 under 30 that way, possibly lots of money is going to come to you because I want that money. So in what I'm doing right now, I seem to have some order, and I'm glad there's a lot of people around me that have contributed to me having that order. And I'm making a little bit of money from the things that I'm good at. And Forbes is just saying to you, you're in the right space and you're in the right track. You'll make more money in the next 5 to 10 years. Basically, that's just
for the past few weeks, you've been busy with this Forbes 30 under 30.
It's been a lot.
So as a young boy from Bulawayo, how does it feel to be part of the Forbes 30 under 30?
It's humbling in the sense that I think what we need to do, especially in Bulawayo and Zimbabwe, is to celebrate each other and acknowledge. There's nothing wrong with me coming to you and saying, Brian, you're doing very well on the side. There's nothing wrong with me going to Calvin and saying, Calvin, you are killing the game. There's nothing wrong with me saying, Novi, you're sick, or you are killing it. There's nothing wrong with that. So when you don't get that more often from back home, Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, and when someone from outside who's just been studying you for the past maybe 1 year comes to you and says, you are doing very well, it's very humbling. You think you know how to react when they tell you, oh, you're on Forbes Africa, or you're winning an award. You think, I would like to thank my mother, I want to do this, I want to thank my school and my granny. But when the moment actually happens, everything just, it calms you. So for me, it was very calming in the sense of, wow, so someone actually watches what I do every single day, and they actually know my story more than the people around me. And but at the same time, it made me realize, it's an opportunity for people in Bulawayo and in Zimbabwe to take ownership of the spaces that they're operating within, because the world is watching Zimbabwe. But while the world is watching Zimbabwe because of this chaos that's happening in the country, if you see $100, you think what's $200? What is it that we're doing as creative people to make sure that we cement ourselves in our positions, that when the world looks into Zim, they say, oh, there's Brighton, oh, there's that singer, oh, there's that actress. So it's an opportunity. It's humbling for me, but it's an opportunity for young people that are hustling in Zimbabwe and Bulawayo to make sure that they perfect their skill and concrete their position.
Right. So Bulawayo artists have been crying much of the time about marginalization. But here you are, a Bulawayo boy, now part of the Forbes state under 30. Right. In terms of, suppose I'm an artist now, I want to make it to this list. I want for my brand to be known, my brand to be promoted. How do I do it, Gilmore? What do I do?
Come to Paperbag Africa and then we'll make you a star. No, I mean, to be honest, of course I'm advertising Paperbag Africa, but I think take some time to study yourself and the industry that you are in, because it's only then that you would know, okay, this is my loophole, this is the space that I can go and sell my products. I'll give an example. They're really doing very well. Nobuntu realized, you know what, we're a group of females from Bulawayo, and we sing in Isindebele. If they come to you and sing, there's nothing amazing to us because this is our language, so it's not foreign. But then what I'm happy about what they did was they realized, a lot of people in the European spaces and the American spaces and whatever outside Zim, they're fascinated when you speak a certain language, or when you sing in a certain language, or when you're dressed a certain way. So that became their target audience. So that's why they tour all the time, because they realize, this is our niche market. So I think as an artist, take some time to study the space that you are in. Look at the loopholes. If there's a problem or there's something lacking in that industry, maybe that's an opportunity for you to occupy that space. That's what I'm trying to do on a daily basis. I haven't arrived there, but I look around and I say, okay, people are complaining about this. Let me go and occupy that space. People are saying, oh, there's no go-to person in Bulawayo. I want to be the go-to person in Bulawayo, so I'm occupying that space. Oh, there's no film or social media influencer in Bulawayo. I'm sure they are, but people always cry about that. But what are you doing then? So become the solution to that problem. So I would say that to an artist.
So what in the future coming weeks, what can you expect from Gilmore? What can you expect from Paperbag Africa? What are you working on?
What am I working on? Good Lord. I'm on TV. I'm back on TV, which is exciting. The Start and Post show with Andy Carter. So that's exciting. But actually, you want me to sell my things to people? Most of the things that we're looking forward to doing is to growing the unheard cities, because it's a cities that we started as Paperbag Africa, where we want to bring people of note, let's say like yourself, and then you have a conversation with those that follow and love what you're doing. So we have like amazing guests coming in July and in September to speak to people. But September we're going to be at Shoko Festival, so I've just spilled those the beans. But more collaboration, because I feel like one thing that we need to work on as artists is collaborating amongst ourselves. So if I see that your strength is this thing that I don't have, and I have a strength, let's collaborate. But in everything that we work on at Paperbag Africa, we try to make sure that we share the same vision, but also it's a two-way thing. So I can't spill so much, but I know we're doing stuff at Shoko Festival. The TV show I'm doing keeps growing. ASAF is going to be doing more stuff. Bob Mahawks is going to be doing more stuff. Arakan is going to be doing more stuff, because these are people that we work with. And Paperbag Africa is just basically going to become the Paperbag with Africa in it.
Right. Gilmore, it's not every day whereby you get artists that you work with winning awards. You saw ASF winning an award. You saw Mboma winning an award.
Yes.
So which means you're doing great work.
Yeah, we are. I mean, they are also doing a good job. They are talented people. And what we have just done is we've come in and helped them make sure that they sustain themselves through the talent that they have.
Yeah.
So talent on its own should be able, if you have a good voice and you could be on radio, it should pay you, do voiceovers, get paid for what you're doing. So with ASF and Umbo Mahawks, we just realized they're talented individuals. They already have their own blessings. But we just came in and we just molded them into brands. And, people that people want to work with, basically. So a brand is just basically, you are put together nicely and people know you for a particular thing. That's what we just did with them. So it's a two-way thing. They have their talent, they're also putting effort. We come in and put an effort and then we make things happen.
Right, Gilmore, let's talk about now the economy of Zimbabwe. I'm an artist based in Bulawayo. Things are tough in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell my brand, but things are tough. Things are not working out for me. Yeah. How do I do it?
I mean, listen, obviously, I also exist in this space called Bulawayo and called Zimbabwe, where you wake up, Agula Zesa, Agula Manzi. There's no internet working. Everything looks like it's just upside down. But at the same time, maybe us as artists, the question that we need to pose to ourselves is this even our market? Like I gave an example for Nobuntu, and I said Nobuntu realized what their market is outside. Yeah. So we have internet on our phones. Like everyone is always on the phone, like all the time. But what is it that we're doing as artists? Yeah. Because we realize, you know what, in Zimbabwe, the economy is just upside down. But then us as artists, maybe this is an opportunity for us to sell ourselves outside. Because I mentioned Wuti, Zimbabwe is a lot of attention. You'll be shocked how many people know about Zimbabwe. Yeah. Last year I was in Nigeria and then I was in an Uber. Every time I was in an Uber, I would say, oh, wait, my brother, where are you from? Because you have a nice accent, oh, I'm from Zimbabwe. And they're like, oh, Mugabe. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you are from Pokelo, you are from Vimbai. So I realized, you know what? Not everybody, most people know about Zimbabwe because of the hardships that we're going through. Yeah. But then that's an opportunity for us as artists to say, let's use the social media that we always fight about. Like we're always fighting on social media. I do that too all the time. But then let's use that to bring good attention to our products. You want a situation looking at hashtag Zim Music. You're the first person to pop up. Hashtag Zim Current Affairs. You're the first platform to pop up. So we then need to take advantage of the fact that the chaos around us is bringing attention to the country, but then the attention should not only be on the chaos, but it also come to us.
But I feel like as Zimbabweans, as Bulawaians, we're not celebrating our own things. Let's start there were the Royal Bulawayo Awards. Then it was not trending.
But was it not trending? It was number one?
Not that trending.
Maybe the Wi-Fi was bad.
But we don't celebrate our own things. We don't celebrate our own things. We have the Wi-Fi, but we don't celebrate our own things. I always give an example of Machaivan, Live Machaivan. Yeah. The guy became famous. There was no Twitter, there was no Instagram, but he became famous. But now as artists, we have those platforms.
Exactly.
But we're not utilizing them.
We're not. That's the thing I'm saying. Instead of we are utilizing those platforms to be fighting each other. And I saw Calvin recently. I'm sorry, I'm going to throw him in here. And he was saying he deserved to win the Song of the Year. And I was like, what the F is he talking about? Because possibly, yes, he's got a good song and it's been popping. But for me, Novio Sigurd even deserved to win it because I knew of Novio's song before I even knew it was her singing. I think I used to sing along to it and someone said to me, do you know this is Novio's song? I was like, no, I actually have it on my phone. I play it in the car all the time. I didn't know it was Novio Sigurd. That's how much art has that power to reach greater heights. And it builds like the bridges and things like that. But then the thing is, Tina, how are we using the platforms that we have, the social medias? Are we fighting all the time, or we're even using Twitter and Facebook to profile into Zenza every day? So maybe we need to do that first, and then also we need to be able to celebrate each other. There's nothing wrong, like I said, there's nothing wrong with me saying, you know what, Butolezanyati, you are killing the game. Mboma Hawks, you are killing it. There's nothing wrong with that because it doesn't take anything away from me.
Not separate to the quality of our music, the quality of our work now. Someone said, if you throw a stone in Bulawayo, you hit a fashion designer, you hit a hip-hop artist. How true is that? If you throw a stone in Bulawayo, you hit a fashion designer or hip-hop artist. Is the quality of our music? It's when we're just doing it now for the name, for what now I'm doing Mario.
So maybe if you throw a stone and you hit a fashion designer or a hip-hop artist, maybe it means that the city is very talented. Yeah. Maybe that's what it means. Because if you throw a stone in Harare, what do you hit? Pop. Are we here about the popcorns? No, we're not here for the popcorns. So maybe it might have been an insult in some way, but Bulawayo is so talented. And trust me, there's good quality music coming from Bulawayo. Bulawayo too young, I think. Yeah. When you listen to the music, you're like, what? Is this from Bulawayo?
But those guys, do they put more effort in their craft? Gilmore, let's talk about the Bulawayo Arts Awards exactly.
Yeah.
Some other performances.
Well, I mean, of course, some of them were not that exciting, and some of the music was like, why do we have these boring people performing?
Also, to discuss
I
the
didn't
race.
attend. I watched it on live stream. But we do have, I think, we also, the other thing that we need to be careful of, especially in Bulawayo, is to celebrate mediocrity.
Yeah.
Because we celebrate that a lot. Just because Umuntu makes so much noise doesn't mean they're a full vessel. Maybe it's just they're making noise because they're an empty vessel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think also we also need to be careful about celebrating mediocrity. Just because someone is making so much noise doesn't mean they deserve to have the platforms. And I see that happening on Zimbabwean radio a lot. Also, the people that are being played on Zimbabwean radio, it's not music that I'm proud of, and I'll say to someone from outside, go to that, I can't throw names because I will get attacked all the time. Or I get attacked, so I'm like all the time. But what I'm saying is, let's stop celebrating mediocre stuff. There's so much talented people in Bulawayo, in Zimbabwe. Maybe the platforms that are there to promote these artists should actually go deeper and research on these people. Because I want you they're not played. But when you listen to them, like, oh, how come you're not getting airplay?
Yeah.
So it's the mediocrity I'm talking about.
So Gilmore, you're passionate about fashion and art.
Yes, yes.
So with a carpet, you see someone wearing something not that fashionable, and you see some other artists in Bulawayo, they're not promoting other fashion designers by wearing their brands. Yeah. What's your take on that? I'm a fashion, I'm an artist, they're not promoting I'm designers. They can go and buy a blazer somewhere else, they can go and buy something. They don't promote their own people. What's your take on that?
I think there's a difference between just wanting to support and actually, being proud of something. I think you can only associate yourself with something if you really have pride in it. I would associate myself with Tembani Mbochwa, the designer, because he's amazing and he's good at what he does. So maybe it's also a question of what Tina Sonke in our individual spaces, are we very good at what we're doing? Are we perfecting that skill? But above all, what we need to understand as artists is this is a full wheel. It's like a vehicle. There's no way you as a fashion designer will do your fashion show without music. So it's already attached. There's no way you as a fashion designer will do whatever that you're doing without a makeup artist, without the entertainment. So maybe we need to understand that we're so interlinked, but we need to start functioning as an interlinking industry. So that's what I think lacks sometimes, because sometimes we are musician and saying, oh, we have a fashion designer, we want to style you. It seems like to them this is like just jargon. They don't understand. I'm like, but you need to look nice. Instead of you buying those Gucci, I'm a bees now. Whenever I call I'm a bees, like, is it green and red? But instead of you doing that, why can't you partner with a local designer? I'll give an example. Unfortunately, it's not from Bulawayo. Temi Moyo, the singer. You see how she has partnered with people that do visuals, Angie Carter, the people that do fashion, Odanai, House of Stone, people that do makeup. She has realized, for her to grow her brand, she needs all these other people and partnerships. So we need to also start working on that. I see Sandra and they were doing that a lot. And a few more artists, but I haven't seen them making so much noise like what Sandra and they did with the fashion designers. So I mean, let's partner and realize what it's live very. Then nothing functions.
There's been a conversation that was done on Twitter. I think this is also on Tambama about Bulawayo having their own dress code. What's our own dress code that defines umuntu Bulawayo? They say le umuntu Bulawayo. We go to travel a lot, then we go African attire the side. But what's our own dress code as umuntu Bulawayo?
Zimbabwe is a country that is just chaotic in terms of identity and fashion. Sometimes you find Zimbabweans go into the Nigerians. I think I had a conversation with Patisanya the other time, and we're talking about how we can actually come to having a cloth or a dress code as a country. I think one thing for sure that we need to do as a country is to allow each and every ethnic group to embrace themselves. So let's allow the Ndawos to bring forth and say, Tina, eventually Amandao, say Kogaloko, Amavenda, which is Kogaloko. And the Shonas, it's just actually not the Shonas, because there's different little groups in the Shona that we put under the umbrella of Amashona. And then I think what we need to do first is to allow each and every different ethnic and tribal group to celebrate themselves before we want to have a national dress and all this. Because first of all, how many times do we celebrate each other as small groups? Do you even know anything about the Tonga people or the Ndao people? Maybe very few of us know that. So maybe let's start there first. And I know the beads. Maybe that's the first thing that we need to start first to celebrate who we are, and the Kalanga people and the Xhosa people or whatever. Let's start small before we even want to go as national, because our national, it's chaos, guys. It's chaos.
So in closing, Gilmore, let me pick your brain. Bula Arts Awards 2020.
Yeah.
If you say Gilmore, that package these awards, what do we do different? What do we do different for the next awards?
I'll get Moma Hawks to host the awards.
You see that?
I would get Moma Hawks to host the awards. I would also change the opening act. I feel like it's tedious.
Yeah.
It's becoming the same thing. First year, second year, third year, we need to have maybe a different opening act, not to have the same dance thing. But maybe we can still include dance because it's an arts awarding ceremony. But then have something more interesting, something very contemporary, something very modern, but not forgetting who we are. So we say contemporary because you're infusing the modern and who we are as a people. So I would remove the whole opening act, dancing thing. I'll have a different opening act, definitely. I'll also maybe have more of the nominees performing. I'll have a stage that's not just one way, but maybe even have other small stages around the venue where the host can actually go and stand in a different space and shift any song is coming in that direction. But one thing for sure, I would make sure that the artists don't come drunk. I would make sure I brief them, listen, this is an opportunity for you to sell yourselves to these corporates. This is the only time these corporates are in the same space as you. But you mess it up by you becoming drunk and spilling drinks on other people and you fighting in the venue. So I would make sure that I grind the artists and I remove the whole VVIP thing. Maybe
how do you fill up the venue?
How do I fill up the venue? Have the posters out way earlier and have them as simplified as possible. You see, now you're stealing my ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't even cash out me when I'm presenting some ideas how do we marketplace. But I would make sure maybe we have three months to sell the show, but also take the communication not only in Bra, even outside, because they're becoming the go-to awarding ceremony. I think it's the biggest.
Because everyone was talking about them on Twitter.
Everybody was talking about them. So maybe why not advertise in Gweru, in Harare, in Kwekwe, in Mutare? Let those people come and see how amazing we are. Because what I liked about the Bra Arts Awards, besides the shade, is the collaboration that happened there. People came together. And I think it shows so much that Tina is Bra, if we actually come together, we'll do better things. That's why I was saying to the artists, collaboration will make you a better brand. Yeah.
Gilmore, thank you so much for joining us. Keep on shining. Keep on telling our story. Keep on representing us.
That's what I want.
Keep on doing great things. Gilmore, I say tata wena.
Yeah, boom.
Till next time, this has been Asake Online Center for Innovation and Technology. Do follow Gilmore on socials at Gilmore T.
Yes.
Do follow me at Real Beefactor. Do follow us at SizeZW. Till next time, hashtag Asake. Tata wena.
Tata wena. Thanks, man.